Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to another Stitch a Week. Okay, so our blog today is called the Double V Stitch. What are you going to need to know for this one? You are just going to need to know how to double crochet and chain. Nice and simple again. But this stitch here is quite a lovely open work one. And as you can see, it is a super duper flexible. So let's put that to one side. Let's go and get on with this week's square. Right, so you got your yarn, you got your favourite hook. We are going to make a slip knot and pop it on our hook. Then it is a case of chaining up a 23. Okay, so hopefully you've caught up with me and you have got your chain of 23. Okay, so now for row number 1. We are going to be placing a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then a single crochet into every chain all the way along. So that should give you a stitch count of 22 when you get to the end, if you're following along for the Stitch a Week. Right, I'm going to carry on this row. I will meet you back here in a few minutes. Right, here we are back at the end of row number 1. So I'll finish up with our single crochet at the end. Now we're going to be working a border up the stitches as well as doing our stitch. So to do this, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And the first 2 stitches will always be double crochets. Okay, so you do 2 double crochets, and now we are going to start on our pattern repeat. Okay, so what we're going to do now is skip 2 stitches and then place a double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to pop another one in there. Chain 2. Now for this row, in this row alone, we are going to then place a double crochet into the next stitch along. And pop in another one, slap bang next door to him. Okay, so for this row, your V-stitch is going to look like this. It's going to be a skip 2, 2 double crochets into the same stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Okay, and that is our pattern repeat all the way across. So let me do that again with you. That is skip 2, place 2 double crochets into this next stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then we're going to repeat it again. Skip 2, double crochet into the next one, place the second double crochet into that same stitch, chain 2, place 2 double crochets into the next stitch, skip 2, 2 double crochets into this stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and you keep going along your chain until you are left with 4 stitches. Oh. Okay, then into our last 2 stitches we are just going to place a double crochets, only the one. Okay, so that's 1 over the next 2 stitches. There we go. So your sample should look something like this. It starts off with a double crochet over 2 stitches, then we skip 2, place a 2 double crochets in, a chain 2, 2 double crochets into the next, skip 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, skip 2, and you do that all the way along, and then you finish off with 2 double crochets. Now this next row is our row repeat for pretty much the rest of this square. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and then place a double crochet where that chain 1 came out, double crochet into the next one. Now we are going to skip these 2 stitches, and working around our chain 2 chain, we are going to place in 2 double crochets, a chain 2, and then we're going to go back in to working around that chain with 2 more double crochets. So there you go, you've got your 2 double crochets, your chain 2, and then your 2 double crochets. Then we're going to skip straight over to our next chain 2 spot and repeat the stitch sequence again. So that is a 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and skip the stitches and jump straight into our next chain 2 spot. Two double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, skip to the next bit, do a double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now as you can see we are coming up to the end. Yay! So we find the top of our first double crochet here, and we pop in a double crochet, and then we do our second double crochet to the top of our first double crochet from the row below. Okay, there we go. So then that will give us a nice straight edge. Then it's a case of chaining 1 and turning your work for row 3. Now row 3 of course is a repeat of row 2, so that is a 2 double crochets right at the beginning. Okay, so the first one goes into the top of the first double crochet, the second goes into the top of the second double crochet, and then we go back to our V-stitch pattern, which of course is 2 double crochets, a chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Right, once I'm going to leave you to carry on with this row and future rows. I'll be back in a few seconds to interrupt you and tell you how many rows you're going to need. Okay, so remember, you start and you end with 2 standard double crochets. Okay, that's for our edges, and then for the actual stitch itself it is 2 double crochets, a chain 2, 2 double crochets, all going around the chain 2 space from the previous row. If you're following along for a stitch a week, that means that you will have 4 of the stitches to work, before you get to the end. So a nice short sharp one. Right, so once you think you've got nearly a square, okay, come back to the video or take note of how many rows. This information will of course be in the description box down below as well. Now if we remove that setup row, you will need in total to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the repeats. So that is the first row that I worked with you, and then a further 7 repeats. Okay, once you've done those, I come back to the video and I will show you how I did the edging. Right, so now you are coming up for your second to last row. You have already done your 8 repeat rows. Don't panic, I've already got my square sorted and done, so this is just my quick sample, which will be getting undone in a few moments. But back to the square, we are going to now work on to the next row. So a chain 1, turn your work into the top of our double crochets. Here of course we are going to place another double crochet, so that is 1 in each. Now we want to make the top of this as straight as the bottom to make it easier when it comes to joining it later. So we are going to chain 2 and then place 2 single crochets around our chain 2 from our cluster. Right, and then we are going to chain 2 again, skip to the next one, and we're going to pop in 2 single crochet, chain 2, skip to the next one, single crochet times 2, chain 2, skip to the next one, 2 single crochets, chain 2. But now we're at the end, so of course we need to put in 2 double crochet as we did at the beginning as well, just to keep everything in line. Now for our very last row. Now this row, of course, we are going to be doing single crochet all the way along. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work and pop a single crochet into that first spot and a single crochet into the second. Now you can either choose to work into your chain or work around your chain. I'm going to work around because it's quicker and I'm lazy. Right, so we are going to do 2 single crochets in that little gap there. Then we're going to place a single crochet into the top of the single crochet from the row before. Hi Liam. Then 2 single crochets around the chain, and then of course a single crochet into the top of these 2 crochets, and we're going to do that all the way along. So I know you're working faster than me. I'll speed up a little bit. That noise is Liam, if you can hear it. For any of you that don't know, Liam is a dog, not a child. Right, coming up on our last few stitches. So, and that is a single crochet into the top of each of those double crochets. It's a case of chain up 2, cut off your yarn, and of course scooch down your knot, and then you will be finished and you will have, ta-da, as if by magic, a lovely completed square. So there you go, and hopefully yours looks something like this, and of course it's got a nice border around it, so it's going to make it lovely and easy for us to attach to the blanket later. Right, so this is it for me for today. I hope you've enjoyed making this square. I will see you all again next week, so if you can, please stay in and definitely stay safe. Ta-ra for now everybody.